This is JILLIANA Ranicar-Breese, and this is part 2 of my interview with Latif Bolat. Tell me, Latif, about your musical background. And by the way, I want to ask you, what's the name of the musical instrument that you play?
Okay, I play a Turkish musical instrument called the saz.
The what?
Saz, S-A-Z, also called baglama. I also play the piano. I am a singer. I finished conservatory in Turkey, and I was a voice student, so I became an opera singer eventually. But then it was not very popular profession those days. I'm talking about 35 years ago. I became a high school music teacher in city of Mardin. Yeah, city of Mardin, Nusaybin, as a matter of fact. But then it was very short-lived. In a month, unfortunate events pushed me to quit teaching. I went back to Ankara to get a degree in history and political science from Ankara University, 4 years. But during that time, I also worked as a theater manager, music director at Ankara Halk Tiyatrosu in Ankara. I participated in production of at least 10 plays, including like Shona Casey's Kitchen, Dario Fo, some of the Turkish, theater plays we did. And interesting enough, every play used to play like 250 days. It was very, very effective, nice. We did children's plays like Pinocchio, the Singers of Bremen, and I was a musician in them. I was also a music director. I was an actor. I did all kind of stuff, and I was painter of the posters.
You were tutto fare, as the Italians would say.
It was some of the best 3 years of my life, I must say.
Okay.
And then I finished that school, and then I got a government scholarship. I won, I should say, because it was tough to get one. And I came to San Francisco in the States to get an MBA, Masters of Business Administration.
So what year would that be, or what decade would that be?
1984, that was.
The 80s, yes.
Yeah, 80s. And I lived in Berkeley, California, right across San Francisco. 20 years. I finished school. I worked at Silicon Valley as computer programmer 5 years. And then I gave up. I went back to the music.
Okay.
And since then, this has been 30 years, I do Turkish mystic Sufi music, poetry, history, lectures, and related anything. I mean, life is not actually departmentalized as they present us. Everything is so related. So the Turkish history, Middle East history, Sumerians, Assyrians, and Turkish Sufi music are all part of the same reality. That's why I study all of those, and then it makes more sense.
And you study all this in English or in Turkish?
I studied in both.
Okay.
I mean, there are many resources in Turkish too that you have to really follow, but there are many very nice people did a lot of work in the West about these subject matters that you have to really follow them too.
Scholars.
Yeah, scholars. And so I do Turkish mystic Sufi music, poetry, and I'm a freelance professor, I should call myself, scholar, to do lectures at universities, mostly in America, but I did some work here at the Leeds University and Oxford University in the past. So I had those too, and I still keep doing these. I just came back from a 3-month-long United States of America tour. Yesterday I came. So I'm now speaking to you with like 3 hours sleep and deep jet lag.
Oh, well, I'm very honored that you came and could spare the time.
My pleasure.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the music then, and your poetry. Do you write the poetry first and then put it to music? Or how do you work when you create your music?
Yeah, it seems that my creativity and inspiration ends when it comes to writing poetry. I never written a poem in my entire life. I never attempted, because partially I play music. I concentrate on playing music, composing music.
But you have words to your music.
Well, the words are, the best words are written already, I'm figuring out, for the last 800 years, from the time of Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi, Yunus Emre, and then Nesimi, Hacı Bektaş Veli. These are great poets of our culture.
Yeah.
And they have written amazingly sophisticated poems already. And I take their poetry and compose my songs, and I sing them in the concerts, and I study their lives.
But it's your words.
Not my words.
They're their words.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so compositions are mine mostly,
Yes.
but I also sing traditional compositions in Sufi music. What is fascinating about Sufi culture is, and very, very underappreciated, I must say, by our own Turkish people too, is timeless quality of this poetry and philosophy. It's timeless. So 800 years ago, Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi lived in Konya and wrote poetry. Today, his poems are the best-selling poems in America, in Europe too.
Well, they've all been
Rumi
translated,
books.
yes.
Translated, and they are very fresh, because human condition hardly changed in the last 800 years. Nothing changed. I mean, everything is as bad as, or as good as 800 years ago.
You're a cynic.
Yeah. That's why when they complain about human conditions, human problems, they resonate very, very easily. That's why his books sells more poetry books than Allen Ginsberg or Tennyson, or I mean, you name any Western poets, they don't sell as many books as he does, because it really answers some questions of our own days, basically. Because of that, in this culture, you got the history in it, you have the economy in it, you have literature, you have poetry, you have the dances, whirling dervish, because Sufis do a lot of rituals. Without doing rituals, you cannot really satisfy the needs, spiritual needs of your followers. I mean, you cannot just sit and do philosophical talk and expect that it's going to answer your spiritual needs. So you do a lot of music, the poetry, philosophy, a lot of dancing. The whole idea in that is, through those activities, which is called zikr, 3-4 hours, you get in an ecstatic mode where you can experience a union with the beloved up there. That is the whole purpose of Rumi, Yunus Emre, Saint Francis de Assisi, or Saint John of the Cross, Teresa de Avila, Margaret of Norwich. All these mystical people, they aim to have a union with the beloved before they die and go to heaven. So they want to have that experience here. That's why they decide to be mystics, and they do very mystical things that we don't really understand why they do. Because of that, all these elements adds a really wholesome cultural, I don't want to call it product, but that is what it is, It's that wholesome, there's everything in it. It is presented to the humanity, regardless of your age, your race, your religion. This Sufi culture is good for you, basically, wherever you're from.
Oh, well. Well, it's been lovely meeting you. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you good luck
Thank you.
in the rest of your journey.